Okay, so we're going to run through a barefoot conditioning series. I'm a massive advocate of having good, strong, pliable feet that you can rely on, because at the end of the day, most of the sports that we do that require some form of gait, walking, running, changing direction, jumping, cutting, all our force that we're creating in the body has to come from the ground, which by virtue has to come straight through our foot. So foot function is very important. Can be a good predictor for if we're going to lead down the path of some injuries, but can also be a bit of a handbrake on performance if they're not optimally functioning. There's also some evidence to show that running economy and speed will improve when decent level runners start to do a block of foot strength training. So instead of thinking about adding all this extra work, we just do things like get barefoot in our strength training and implement a little warm-up strategy like this. So exercise number one that we're going to do is just see, do we have the ability to recruit big toe, so lift our big toe off the ground without lifting our little toes. And we try both legs, and then we end up doing a few reps here. Now we want to see if we can lift little toes without the big toe. And when we're doing this, again, what we're trying to do is not just collapse our arch in to lift our toes, we're trying to maintain foot tripod, big toe, little toe, heel, and then lift the toes as we go. And then we want to do what we call a foot piano. So rolling little toe into big toe and then rolling back up. So trying to get one down at a time. And then a dome, create an arch, try and flatten it into the ground. Create an arch, flatten it into the ground. Create an arch, flatten it into the ground. Create an arch, flatten it into the ground. All right, next thing in the barefoot strength series is what we call a heel to toe march. And so we're going from heel up onto our toe into an A march position, so a run specific posture. And to really challenge yourself, try and pause at the top, 1, 2, and try and articulate through that first and second toe each time. So really trying to post up, hold, post up, hold, post up, hold. Active on that front foot as well, bring the toes to shin. Second exercise in this series is the toe walk, so we stay up on the toes. Again, we want to get running arms, keep our hips locked like they're a glass of water. We don't want to lose our posture, so keep everything tight, stay up on the balls of the feet. Next variation is the heel walk, so for Forrest Gump's. The tendency here will be to shoot the hips back. What I want you to do is keep the hips under like a glass of water. Don't tip out the front of the back. Keep the drops in and then stay on the heels. Running arms. You'll feel the muscles at the front of the shins working here. Tibialis anterior, super integral part of foot function. Stay on the heels. Running arms, stay tall, keep the posture. All right, so next two here, we're gonna think about, we've been in this plane of motion, now we're gonna get into that frontal plane, and we're gonna go on the outside of our foot, almost like we're in a rolling ankle position. And again, keep your hips under. We're on a tightrope with this one, so keep the balance going. Really good prep for any ankle instability if you have gone over and rolled your ankle. This can just be good for calibrating those everters or muscles on the outside of your shin. Perineals, if you've got any issues there. Try and maintain balance, stay on the outside of the foot. Next exercise, we're gonna do almost like another Forrest Gump style one, where we get our arch collapsed into the ground and then think about that knee coming in. So now we're trying to pressure the plantar fascia, get a little bit better at taking load on the inside, and just get us into a plane of movement that we're probably not doing a whole heap of. We want to build strength and resilience in these different movement patterns and just put stress on the muscles in the feet. All right, these next one here can make us feel a little awkward, almost like a dance move. But they were adapted from the Australian Ballet, the way they like to start to coordinate and strengthen feet. So we start out with our knees out, then we bring knees in, toes in. Knees out, in. Want to work our way along. Then go back the other way. And we want to try and see if there's any big discrepancy side to side. But you'll start to see different muscles around the ankles and feet start to work. Last variation in the toe foot conditioning series is the toe crawl. So I want you to imagine that each toe here has the ability to grab the ground, grapple hook in and pull your whole foot along the ground. So we're going to try and crawl here, and from here toes are trying to pull our feet along the ground. So as you can imagine here, they're going to be fighting hard because they're not big muscles. So you can go alternate, one at a time, or you can try and get both feet going here, and you'll start to feel a few different muscles start to fire up. We're building control in all those muscles in the feet here. Obviously not going to win any races here, but and you can appreciate we're not going to go for too far. You can feel those muscles working in the feet.